Again, on folks. Look at overall decent enough day in Down Royal. We came very close to predicting the first try-cast um, of that particular day. Obviously, Western victory chased home by Make My Heart Fly. And I think, no, Bonarch beat Ava Rose to come third. So look, we got that one wrong, but Mars Harper winner at 7-1. The nap in the next best didn't deliver, but Asperity came second at an each way price of 8-1. So look at overall, I'm happy enough with that. We're keeping things ticking over and just, I suppose, keeping our heads above water more so than anything else. Moving on to tomorrow. Naas is a bit of a tricky card. I know I generally do fairly well at Naas, but that is when it's over jumps. The flat is a complete different game altogether. It's known as the punter's graveyard, simply because there's just so much competitive racing on. There's generally an awful lot of horses darting towards the line. What you need to know for Naas, if you want to pick as many winners as you possibly can, good draw near the rails. Trainers in form, course form. If you can get course and distance form, it's generally very useful. But look, then again, there could be days when absolutely nothing goes right, and it's just the luck of the running. But focusing in on tomorrow, there's some very, very nice racing on. Looking down through the card, there's some great opportunities to make a bit of profit. 8-1 each way, 2-1 nap, 20-1 each way, 20-1 each ways, 6-1, 4-1, and 3-1, and a 7-1 thrown in there as well for good measure. So we're going to be hoping for a nice profitable day. If I could get two winners, I'd be very, very happy with that, especially at those sorts of prices. Realistically, it definitely does look to be a tricky day's racing and a very competitive day's racing, but I'll definitely be just sitting on the sidelines and watching on. First race off, the 425. Tricky one here. Gerlines is in good form at the moment. He's got some nice 2-year-olds coming out. I'm not totally convinced with Sacred Bridge. I think at 5 furlongs, it's going to be outpaced. It looks like it's bred for more mile 2 contests. Slightly confused why it's pitched in at 5 furlongs. I don't know. In my opinion, it just wants that extra 4 or 5, potentially even 6 furlongs in time to come. The one I am liking here, it's an unraced horse, as most of these are, but I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to take a chance on Via or Viv Aya. I think I'm pronouncing that name right. Currently priced at 8-1. I'm going to have an each way play here with this one. Dermot Well, Lushing Ward taking the right. Drawn in stall 4, not too bad. Providing it gets the break, it should have no real problem. Bred by Michael Air. Obviously, look at very, very nice bloodline there for sprinting horses. Kodiak out of a pivotal mare. That's exactly what you want. Obviously, look at going back to my time with breeding on a budget. The time I had Cheerio Sweetie. She was from the pivotal bloodline as well, so she was a very, very nice sprinter. Well, looked to be a very nice sprinter on her debut anyway. So, look at realistically when you look down through the bloodline and what it's by and what it's related to, it definitely looks to be very, very nice when you look at all the group form and the group bloodline, all this sort of stuff like this. Placed at 6 furlongs, 2-year-old winner, share by Kodiak. So it's a half sister. It's a half sister to Amma Share out of a 7 furlong Group 3 winning half sister Irish Ledger winner Royal Diamond and 1 mile 4 grade 2 winner Princess Highway and is a granddaughter of 1 mile 4 grade 2 winner. So look at, I know I said the favorite has an awful lot of, say, middle distance form and bloodline and all that, like, but this one here actually does as well. But just coming from the Kodiak line, coming, say, by a pivotal mare as well, it definitely does hold an awful lot of speed, an awful lot of burst out the gates, and look at, hopefully it'll potentially look at set the pace whatever way it's run at home. Whether it makes the run or not, I don't know, but generally these Kodiaks do like to get on with things, and I definitely think Vivea, I think the name of it is. These flat names do get me sometimes, but I definitely think I will be having a bit of an each way play on this one here at 8-1. 5 o'clock, going to hold an app of the day. Gerlines has the favourite in here in the box seat for Colin Keane, and I am definitely siding with this. When you look at the form it holds, obviously look at the Fairy House fourth. Behind Independent, or Dream Today, Independent Missy and Mrs. Bouquet. Now, Independent Missy was a very, very nice runner that particular day, and she definitely does look like she is going to come on leaps and bounds for that. Angel Pam flew home like a bullet that particular day, but didn't necessarily get penalized for it. It's on the same mark in the box seat in Naas. All the only thing that's beaten it here today is herself. There's not, obviously, look at No More Porter is a winner last time out. Siobhan Rutledge rides for John Feen, which is definitely interesting here. Screen Siren, obviously a winner last time out as well. Very interesting. Both of them drawn sort of mid pack, 6 or 7 and 8. It's a funny sort of a one. Obviously, I think there's only 2 course and distance winners. The Aidan O'Brien horse and the Willie McCreary horse. So it's a tricky one here. You definitely could make cases for an awful lot of these, but in terms of potential and class and form and draw and everything else about it, I'm definitely ticking an awful lot of boxes for this Geraldine's horse here. Realistically, it should not be beaten. It goes very well on good ground, and definitely look at it. It should take plenty of stopping here. 5:30. A very, very tricky contest. When you look at the whole card, and I'm after going into something there now. Obviously, look at Carlsberg, drawn 1, third last time out. Form is definitely working out as well, so you could make cases for that. Joey Sheridan on board. Joey's having a great time with things recently, obviously in the Ascot Gold Cup on Princess Zoe, but I don't know. I just don't like him. I don't like him at that price. I'm trying to stay away from as many favorites as I can, and if I start going in on Carlsberg now, I definitely think it's only going to end up me going for more favorites, and generally on the flat, Naas doesn't really turn out to be a favorite winning track. The only thing that I am liking, okay, look at It's All a Joke, course and distance winner. Is there any other course and distance winner bar the one that I have actually gone on? There isn't, and the one that I have actually gone with, it's called Baby Power. Trained by Gary Caldwell, ridden by Gavin Ryan. Obviously the owner, Bernard Caldwell, must be some sort of relation to Gary, but definitely very, very interesting. Looked like it needed a run last time out. This horse generally does fairly well at Naas. When you look at its form overall, in the track itself, I'm just trying to find it here now. First run at the track was the 4th of September 2018, which had won in a field of 19. Next time out was the 26th of June 2019. Funny enough, my birthday, but it was 7th of 22 that particular day. And the next time out was the 6th of July, which is won at 5-1 in a field of 15. So generally runs fairly consistently in big fields, big contests. Drawn and stall 9, not necessarily the worst thing in the world. I think if this horse does get out the gates or fairly quickly and fairly well, I definitely think he is coming in here at a nice opening mark, and should definitely take the bull by the horns and really start making an awful lot of these work. I think he saves his best for around Naas. I think generally the mark looks to be fairly well. Gavin Ryan is a man in form. It's there's more to like about this horse than most of the rest of the field. So I definitely think an each way play at 20-1 is definitely very, very interesting here. Trying to get up the next race now, 6 o'clock. The favorite in here, drawn out in stall 19. I definitely will be avoiding that one. Not necessarily down to form wise, just as drawn out in the car park. One I am liking, fit for function, Gary Carroll, Joseph Murphy. Currently priced at 6-1. Drawn in stall 3. Ran a very good race last time out in second. Doesn't have course form, but is definitely coming into his skin and really starting to run very, very well. Drawn, like I said, in stall 3, very nice position on a great mark. Gary Carroll, looking at his form over the past 2 weeks, he's going off 11%. Joseph Murphy been around the winners enclosure as well. So like the race before, there's more to like about this lad than most here, and I just think I think he's got a bit in hand on most of these. There's an awful lot of very good horses drawn very wide, and that's definitely going to pose an awful lot of problems for them. But I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Keep an eye on Hell Left Loose for Dennis Hogan. Drawn in stall 7, course and distance winner. Elotira as well, drawn out in stall 10. There's no other. There's one more, Dunard Prince, but he's going to want that ground an awful lot slower than what it is. He's a pure mudlark, that lad. I wouldn't be putting him up now, to be perfectly honest. Just going by the ground and going by the way he likes his races run. I don't think he's going to get it now tomorrow. 6:30. The next each way of the day, I think is going to be a good race for the Aga Khan Silks. There's 2 very, very nice horses in here, but the draws are turning me off them. Obviously Al Nazina, very, very nice looking horse, very nicely bred. The next horse then, Chandra, drawn even better, ridden by Chris Hayes. Why I'm not going with this horse, I don't know, but the one that I am going with April Showers, drawn in the box seat at 20-1 for Donica O'Brien and Gavin Ryan. Like I said, 20-1, definitely well worth an each way play when you look at the form in the book. Just going back here, first race off was a very, very nice 4th behind Snowfall. Now, Snowfall has gone on to be a 120 rated horse, won its last 2. Group 1 by 16 lengths in Epsom. Time before that, at Group 3, beaten Noon Star, Tiona, Mystery Angel. It's definitely very, very interesting. Like that 16 length victory was definitely very, very impressive there earlier on this month. So look, at when you think about it that way, coming forward on his debut against a a filly of that sort of standard, it's definitely very interesting. Next time out was second behind a Miana, 94 rated. Not necessarily lit the world alight, but not a bad overall horse either. Next time out, one beaten Sense of Style, 101 rated horse. Again, not necessarily lit the world alight, but it's been generally consistent. Obviously, look at Sense of Style went on then to win next time out as well. So form has been boosted slightly, but when you look at the form that this April Showers has run up against, like, it's night and day, and it's miles clear of the standard of horse in this. It's in listed company, so the fact that it finished only a couple of lengths behind a Group 1 winning filly by a considerable margin, it was definitely very, very impressive. Look, I know all horses are different, and I know you need to tune them right and all that, like, but if producing anything like what Snowfall has shown this year, who knows, we could be looking at a very, very talented sort. And definitely as well, when you think about like where this mare could go, obviously look at bred by Ballydoyle, there's some very, very nice breeding in there. Obviously 1 mile 2, ideal conditions for Galileo offspring. The fact that it's drawn in the box seat as well. Gavin Ryan, a very, very nice jockey as well. Look at 20 to 1 is no bad price for this filly, and I definitely think she is going to she is going to give her running, and being in the box seat as well, she's well entitled to do it. Could potentially throw a bit of an upset in here, and definitely would be well worth a bit of an each way bet. 7 o'clock. This one here, we're going to take a bit of an each way play. And the one that I am liking, and the one that I'm going to be siding with, is Mother Country. Probably, in my opinion, this is the worst race in terms of quality of the day. There's an awful lot of mid 50s, 60 horses. They're not necessarily world beaters, but they're cheap and cheerful, let's just say. Nothing wrong with that in racing either, but look at Drawn and Stall 3, 5th last time out, showed a little bit of improvement that particular day. Billy Lee on board for Willie. It's just potential more so than interesting. It's a weak enough affair. There's not necessarily much form to go on in this sort of a race, and look at it, realistically, it's well within his rights to go and potentially win this race. Price is 7 to 1, definitely well worth an each way bet. But don't be surprised for a bit of an upset tomorrow. I definitely think it could be very, very interesting. 7:30. It's a funny sort of a race, but I am going to be siding with John Feen and Sam Ewing here. Obviously, look at Sam. He isn't claiming in this race, but he is a very, very talented jockey, and he is a very, very talented young man in the saddle. Fugercious, currently priced at 4 to 1. In my opinion, that's going to be the next best of the day. Was chasing home a very, very nice sort in Mary Stallone in Listowel last time out. Another reproduction of that should see this horse go close. Coming out of stall 4 is definitely in a nice position, providing it gets the break and providing it can get the rail. There should be no reason why it shouldn't, but like realistically, it should definitely be good enough for this sort of race, and I would be surprised to see anywhere worse than 4th or 5th. Definitely think it's going to be neck and neck between an awful lot of these, and I definitely think Fugercious is definitely one for this race tomorrow, and I definitely think 4 to 1. You maybe do a bit of shopping around, you might get 5 to 1, which would make it a bit of an each way play, but I definitely think it's the one I would be siding with. I rate Sam Ewing very, very highly, and I definitely think he is a top prospect for the future. Finally, then the last race of the day, and it's another tricky race, and it's another hard race to call. You've got Musharraf for Dermot Weld, Colin Keane. He's been well supported. The Joseph O'Brien horse driven or drawn out in the car park. I'm not going to be going near that. Hammer Flyer 3-1 for Jessica Harrington and Shane Foley, a team that's been going fairly well recently. And do you know what? I think I will be siding with this one. It's a filly and I'm. Do you know what? I'm just going to use, and I'm just going to say, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to be hopeful that the experience is going to pay dividends here. Fourth, second, and third last time out. Drawn in stall 2 as well. Shane Foley on its back. I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to say this Hamwood Flyer at 3-1 is going to be the winner now tomorrow. Doesn't necessarily have to find too much on form wise with the favorite here. It's got a 16 stall bonus to its favor as well, so that's definitely going to, in my opinion anyway, that's going to be a big help for it as well. I just think it's very, very interesting. There's not necessarily much to go on here, and there's an awful lot of unraced horses that we don't necessarily know anything about. It's a tricky enough contest. If you want to have an each way play, maybe Jim Bulger and Kevin Manning at 66-1 with Step and Skip, but yeah, look, it's just so strange, and it's so tricky to try and find a winner in this particular race. But look, we'll say Hamwood Flyer 3-1 at an each way play. Kevin Manning and Jim Butcher with Step and Skip at 66-1. Potentially look at worth a bit of an each way on better ground. But I'm going to leave it there. Please make sure to keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you are going to be having a bet tomorrow, I wish you the very, very best of luck. I'd be wary enough of betting tomorrow, to be quite honest. I wouldn't necessarily go too mad. If you didn't want to have a bet at all, I certainly wouldn't begrudge you of it. You know me, my flat game isn't necessarily as strong as the National Hunt game, but look, hopefully we'll be able to pull out a few winners out of the hat, and if we can do that, that's me happy out. Even if the only winner of the day is the nap and the next best, that'll be more than what I want and more than what I came for. And hopefully we will get on the winning side of things tomorrow. Please make sure to keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. I leave a link to the Patreon service below. For those who don't know anything about it yet, it's £10 a month. But if you are wanting to sign up, I would suggest maybe sign up, say, for the 1st of July instead of signing up now, because it is an automatic transaction. If you don't want to continue the service, you have to put in the cancellation and whatever. But it's not worth your while, say, signing up now and then getting charged again, say on the 1st of July. We want to make sure that you are going to be getting bang for your buck and good value for your money. So to be able to avail of that, we do definitely suggest to wait until the start of every month before signing up for new customers. But like I said, if that's not your thing and you just want to stick with the YouTube, please hit that like, share, and subscribe and get that word out there. We are going for the 1,000 subscriber mark. That's exactly what we're hoping for. And we just need to keep going on and keep pushing and keep going forward. And because hopefully we will get to the 1,000 subscriber mark by the end of the year. Thanks very much, folks, and the very, very best of luck tomorrow.